So the first thing to note is all of the forms have been put in level to match course heights. So we'll laser from one point down to the bottom, figure out what the difference is. So in this case, it was just about 2 meters. Our blocks are 200mm increments, which makes it really easy to lay out. So when we pour the concrete, all we have to do is screed to the top of our level form, and then all the concrete is level, and then you can just lay blocks straight on top of that. Obviously, we need a way to hold our forms up. So these are just a brace to hold the form up so you can build, level between each brace. An issue you might have is when you put your pegs in, you want them as far away from the edge of the footing as possible. Otherwise, you're gonna break the dirt into the footing. So you make the brace, these are like 2 meters wide, the footing's only 500 wide. So we can keep our pegs as far away as we can. And pretty much we're trying to do as minimal supports as you need. So the only time we really have a support is when we have a step in the footing. So there's a step here, drop down another course, step here. Right here in the plan specifies to have what's called an engaged pier. So there's going to be block work on top of this, 4x200 block work. And in engaged pier section, it becomes 2 blocks wide instead of 1. So we have to form out extra wide to account for that. And because we have to form out, we need an extra brace to support the other side, otherwise there won't be any support for it. Obviously there's extra Rio in there as well, which is all plan specified. And the Rio, you could use chairs under the Rio, but when you build a form like this, which is, it's a little bit overkill, but it makes concreting way easier because it's all level. So you don't have to try and get it level. As you're going, you can just pour, screed to the top, and it's level. It allows us to hang the reinforcement off of the footing with ties, just to keep it off the ground. Minimum of 40mm away from any surface. And at the moment what Finn's doing is he's laying out the vertical L bars, which will come out from the footing up through the blockwork to engage the blockwork to the footing. And we've put a extra piece of timber on to fix them on. That way we don't have to worry about them moving and we know they're in the right spots. They have to be laid out and land in the center of each block. So they have to be perfect. If one's wrong, then it's a bit of an issue because you'd have to cut the blockwork to try and fit. So these are laid out in the center line, dead center of the blockwork, and they'll be in every opening in the blockwork. 1 per block. So the blocks are 400, they're spaced at 400mm increments. And they go all the way to the bottom of the trench mesh. And the position of the footing is based off the blockwork. So the blockwork must be center of the footing. That doesn't mean that's where the house line is. The house line is wherever the house finishes. The blockwork must be inside of that. So in this case, the cladding is 40mm thicker, is going to sit out 40mm from the blockwork, which means the blockwork has to be 40mm in from the boundary of the house. So everything's been moved in 40mm to account for that.